What's up, guys? Welcome back to Surfboard Stories. Thanks everyone for tuning back in, and thanks for all the support from you. We really appreciate it. Having a lot of fun doing it for you. But this week we got something pretty cool coming for you. We're going to teach you guys a little bit about Futures Fins. Thank you at Wavecall. Not sure your real name, but that's your YouTube username. So thank you, Wavecall, for the suggestion. Always drop in the comments some suggestions for me, and we'll shout you guys out and do a little video for you. But we're going to break down Futures fins. So I have True Aim's fins here in my hand because I love True Aim's. They're the best fins around. But we're going to head on over to Killer Dana Surf Shop this afternoon, and we're going to pull out a bunch of different fins for you guys and show you a couple different things like rake, size of base, size of the tip of the fin, what different rakes do, what different sizes do, and kind of give you an explanation of what fin you want to choose, because I look at it like walking in a candy store and you see all this candy, you don't know which one to get. So I'm going to help you guys figure out what kind of candy you like, why, and what's going to work the best for you. So obviously, to start things off, we're going to go for a Shroud, and I'll see you guys at Killer Dana Surf Shop after. What's up, guys? We're down here at Killer Dana Surf Shop, and we're gonna go inside, check it out a little bit, and go over some fin specs for you. Teach you a little bit about Futures fins, so come on, check it out. Alright, so I picked out a couple different fins for you guys. I got the Dylan Grays from Captain Fin, the Mayhems from Futures, the DHD, and my favorite, the AM2s. So it's an Almeric template, great template. It's kind of like my starting point when I get a new surfboard. I picked this fin as my base fin so I can compare what's different on the surfboards between each other. So I guess we'll start with this one here. So we don't have a table, so we're just gonna do it right here on the floor. Keep it roots. First glance, all these fins look very similar. There's really only subtle differences between all of the shortboard thruster fins. As you can tell, this white one here has this little lump in the back. So that's, you know, a main difference you see right off the bat is lumps and different things like that. They add different things to the fins to enhance performance typically. This one, Dylan Graves in particular, he surfs a lot of river waves, waves that are a little bit slower and things like that. So I think they might have added that on there to add a little bit of extra surface area to the fin to give you a little bit more speed. Might help out a little bit. But the reason I wanted to start with the AM2 is because this was one of the original high-performance shortboard fins once they started changing into thrusters. A lot of people base their fin template off of this fin right here. So it's very simple, it's very pulled back, and has a lot of rake. So the back of the fin right here, we call this rake. So if you were to compare it to, let's say, a DHD fin, you look at the two, get them lined up the best you can, you'll notice right off the bat there's a little bit of extra fin surface area right here, but it's pretty similar on the front, on the top part of the fin. So they're adding a little bit of extra fin in the back to promote more drive, get a little bit more speed out of it. Also, you'll notice that the front of the fin on the AM2 right here is a little bit bigger. So the base of the fin has more surface area, whereas the tip of the fin has less. So there's less drag on the top of your fin up here, but the base is where you're going to get all your drive from as the water comes off the bottom of the surfboard. It's going to hold right there more so than it would on the tip. Another thing that I'd like to point out with these fins in particular, you'll see there's carbon fiber on the bottom right here and on the top as well. And they do that so that the fin will flex in the middle part, whereas it'll be more stiff in the bottom and the top. So you still can get your spring off the bottom when it coils up and bends and then flicks after your turn. It'll kind of propel you a little bit. So they're trying to control the flex of your fin right here. Really like the AM2 template. True Ames sells them and makes them better, I think. He hand makes all of his fins, so there's a lot of love put into them, and they're usually pretty perfect because he's a big perfectionist. Wants to make his fins as good as possible. So, you know, if we were to compare this Dylan Graves fin, which has a bit smaller base, I can already tell, because this bottom part that goes in your fin box is always going to be the same size. And you'll notice that the tip of the fin right here isn't going over that box just like it is here. So instantly I know the base is going to be smaller. But when you put them up next to each other, you'll see it's a very similar thing to what we had going on the DHD. And now this is why I like to use this as my base, so I can compare everything to it. So it has a similar thing back here where there's a little bit more fin, but you'll notice when you flip it over, the top is a lot smaller. So this is a smaller fin than either of the two, actually, the DHD or the AM2 fin. So it could work. A lot of guys like to use smaller fins and bigger wave boards because there's a lot more rail line in the water that's also going to give you drive. So they're using a smaller fin to get a little bit more pivot, be able to turn a little bit more agile, and you'll still get the same amount of speed because you're on such a long surfboard. So sometimes when you have too big of a fin, it'll drag too much and slow you down a lot. So it can help to ride a smaller fin on bigger boards, whereas smaller boards typically you would ride a bigger fin, you know, like a twin fin or something along those lines. So kind of interesting, this Dylan Graves fin. And you'll notice back to these AM2s, if you line the boxes in the bottom of the fin up as best you can, you'll notice the side fin is very different from the trailing fin. So this is the back fin of the thruster set. You'll see it's smaller in the top, but it has a little bit more in the back. So they basically just squash that back fin down a little bit, so that way when you're surfing it'll feel like a twin fin with a trailing fin. It's going to be more pivot while not lacking in drive. You know, you're going to get to do tighter turns in the pocket easier, things like that. And just by looking at this set, I think the Dylan Graves is going to be similar, if not more exaggerated version of that. So yeah, he kind of has the same thing. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting these lined up. He has the same thing going on here. So you'll see the back fin is much smaller than his front fin. So it'll promote maneuverability. I'm jumbling my words really a lot today, huh? But promotes maneuverability without letting go of the drive and the speed that you want to get out of your fins. So great fin here, looks like fun. Kind of interesting to try something different with the back here and add that little lump. Now, I know just by word of mouth, I guess, the Mayhem fin and the AM2 fin supposedly are very similar. So let's put them up next to each other and see if that's true. Word on the street right there. So it's actually a little bit smaller. Kind of has the same idea. Has a little bit more fin surface area here than the AM2 does, but the base is absolutely identical, and it starts to change once it gets up into this mid part here. Um, it's a little bit smaller of a fin, and the base is going to give you your drive. The tip of your fin is going to give you your projection. So I think this would be a great fin for maybe something more grovelly, I guess, like a thicker, more fun board style. Whereas this I'd see on something more like a high performance shortboard. You know, you might get a lot more release out of your Mayhem, but this one will give you more drive. And I like big rail turns and things like that. And I like to try to do those. So I use something with a little bit more rake and a little bit more fin to give me more drive, more speed in turns, and more control over my board. Whereas these might be a little bit more squirrely, a little more loosey-goosey, and can be fun for certain occasions. But let's see what the trailing fin looks like in comparison to the side fin. So it's a pretty common thing to have a smaller trailing fin, just a little bit. It looks like the top right here is just barely bigger, but the back part is the same. So they're kind of going for the same idea here with the smaller trailing fin. It seems like a common thing that a lot of people are doing these days. So basically, if you want to go faster, look for a bigger base. You know, this is a little bit smaller than this one here. This one's a little bigger. It's going to give you a lot more speed. If you want to be more agile and more maneuverable, you can go with a smaller height fin, a little bit bigger base could be fine, and not so much rake. The tip of the fin, you don't want it to be as far back, because when it's far back like that, it's going to be more stable and more stiff, more drivey. So more upright style fin would work better for you if you're looking for a little bit more maneuverability in your surfboard. And sometimes V-bottom and different surfboards can change that for you too. So it's good to settle on a fin that you really like, on a board that you really like, and use that to your advantage. Not try to change it around too much. You know, it's fun to try new things for sure, but keeping it standard is always good, and it allows you to make your surfboards work better for you. So I'm gonna pack these things back up and we'll go for a walk around the shop. I'll show you a couple things. So Killer Dana Surf Shop's kind of the one-stop shop for everything you could need. You know, if you have a girlfriend or a sister or daughter or whatever likes to surf and likes surf clothing, they got all the ladies stuff right here on the entrance. Super cool Billabong and Ruka and whatever it is, they got all of it. They got the men's clothing in the back section here, and I actually really want to show you guys the Silent Rock booth. Super legit. So this place is like the core roots surf shop around here. You know, it's been around for a bunch of years. They have ties to Killer Dana headlands and things like that, obviously in the name with Killer Dana Surf Shop. So they put on cool surf videos, like right now they're showing Bruce Brown movie. I think it's Endless Summer. Looks like Endless Summer at least. I don't know. But, you know, they got moto scene in here as well with the Fast House gear and things like that. And they also got IPD, because IPD is the GOAT. So they're dropping new merch in here all the time. And best thing that they got is the Silent Rock table. It's super legit. You can only get it here at Killer Dana Surf Shop. And support your local. Silent Rock TV. So they got kids stuff, they got hats, and they also got a bunch of surfboards, which is super sick. Bunch of local shapers like Mark Ellis, or kind of blanking on names right now, but I know for a fact Mark Ellis is in here, and Josh Slay has some boards that he's shaping here as well. And probably the best thing about this surf shop is it's got to be the only surf shop that carries Thrifty's ice cream. So come in here, get some ice cream, shop around, check it out, look at some fins, size them up next to each other, and figure out what you need for your new surfboard. So thanks for tuning back in to Shop Stories, everybody. Check back in next week. We're going to have another good one coming for you. And like, comment, subscribe, comment something that you guys want to see, and we'll shout you guys out. So Till next week. Peace.